In today's video, I want to talk about the importance of protecting that gray matter that's between our ears. Yeah, I'm talking about your brain. In the last video, I kicked off this series talking about why it's time to bury the chaos and finally start a journey to calm, to having a business that actually works for us. If you missed that video, check out this link in the description below. And right here, I put that up there for you as well. I'm also going to be putting this into a playlist so you can watch this whole series. If you'd like to get alerted as to when the next video comes out, be sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, just shameless plug. You know, that YouTube thing. So today I want to talk about the mind control, and it's controlling, again, the gray matter that is between our ears and why that is so important. The first stage in our framework is to unlearn. And the transformation, as we mentioned in the last video, we're going to go from being overwhelmed to being focused. And that starts with what we do with our brain. There's so many toxic practices and broken business models out there. It's a wonder we can get anything done. The only way to get a different result in our life is to do things differently. The first thing we need to do is unlearn how we take care of our mind. Why this matters. You're going to see this slide a lot in this video series. Our greatest asset as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur is our mind. We've all heard and maybe we've said it ourselves. But people ask you, how's work? What's the next first thing? Oh man, it's crazy. Work is crazy. Whether you work for yourself or someone else, that is a common thing that we hear. There's two main reasons for that. Our mind / our work day is being sliced up with a Ginsu knife into tiny moments by an onslaught of physical and digital distractions. We have this unhealthy obsession with growth at all costs. We have unrealistic expectations of what our business can do and what we can do. That is the unhealthy thing that our brains seem to feed on. So it's no wonder that we have a never-ending workday, that we're checking email, responding to people that's 11, 10, 12 o'clock at night. But that constant work turns our life into leftovers. It's the doggy bag. Those relationships we have, the things that our business is meant to do, which is give us fulfillment, that's the leftovers, whatever we have time left, which isn't much if you're here watching this video. Long hours, excessive busyness, and a lack of sleep have become a badge of honor. It was for me in my last business. I prided myself on the fact that I only slept 4 hours. The problem is it was killing me. I bought into that mindset, that hustle grind mindset. And that is a dangerous mindset. I am so anti-hustle and grind. I'm not saying I don't work hard and don't encourage people to work hard, but that growth at all costs at the sacrifice of yourself, your health, your relationships, that's what I'm against. Sustained exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It's a mark of stupidity. Let me say that again. Sustained exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It is a mark of stupidity. COVID and work from home have blurred the lines even more. That personal family time and work, because we're on our devices so much, we're on our devices way more than we used to be. And I'm not blaming devices. I just want you to realize what's going on in your brain. Let's look at the data. What does science say? New LinkedIn Workforce Insights on Office 365 data, where actual data pulling from, and if you haven't figured that out, Microsoft owns LinkedIn. Think about how many extra meetings have you been in this past year? 48% increase in meetings. There's 40.6 billion more emails every single day. There's a 45% increase in chat messages. And you'd think with all of the hours that people are putting in and the promise of technology that the load on us would actually be getting less. It's not. It's actually getting heavier. The problem is we don't have any uninterrupted time, dedicated time to actually work. People are working more, but we're actually getting less done. The answer isn't to work more hours to out hustle and out grind people. It's fewer distractions, less always on anxiety, and avoiding stress at all cost. And sometimes that means less tech. Yeah, you heard me say it here. Sometimes it means less tech. Have you had days where you feel like your technology, you just feel overwhelmed? Drop that in the comments for me because I would be curious to see. I know I'm not the only one. I've done this as a workshop in front of hundreds of entrepreneurs, and every single one of them said they've had days where they feel overwhelmed by all of the technology, all of the constant, always on notifications, etc. But here's what it's leading to. We're seeing a dangerous and alarming increase in mental health issues, especially among small business owners. I work a lot with the IT industry, and it's typically male dominated. And us dudes, we don't like to get help, especially if we're entrepreneurs. We feel like we can do everything ourselves. We feel like we can control everything and that we don't need help. Recipe for disaster. That's why I started with step number 1 in this framework. We have to get control of our mind. We have to make a change. I want to share with you some things that have helped me, and I've coached over 1,000 entrepreneurs in the last decade since getting rid of my business in 2014. If you're like me, I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I hate seeing those notifications bubbles. I hate the red bubbles, and I look at my phone. It's nearly impossible to get any work done with constant notifications. Email, social media, Slack, Teams, texts. The list goes on and on and on. So my tip here is turn them off. It's okay. Even if it's just for an hour, turn off all your notifications. Turn off your phone, put it in a drawer, whatever. This is going to give you the mental bandwidth that you need to focus, to actually get into a state of flow. Because if we can't get in any state of flow, we're never going to get anything done. The second tip I have for you is to limit meetings to 30 minutes. If I have to have a meeting at all, I hate meetings, by the way. I do everything I can to limit the number of meetings I have every week. And when I do, I don't schedule them for any more than 30 minutes. We think about it. When you only have 30 minutes, the brevity and cut to the point, that's my mantra. Think about what it's like when you go on vacation. How much stuff are you trying to get done because you know Friday's my last day of work and I'm out? So think about that. I prefer asynchronous communication. We've got a phone. Record me a video and send it to me so that I can watch and I can actually fully understand. Then I can reply when I've set aside time to do that. And I'm going to talk a lot about that in the next video. We're going to talk about in a few minutes, actually, what to do for setting that time aside. Next tip I have for you is having no camera Zoom calls. Again, if we have to have a meeting, absolutely necessary meeting, I don't always want my camera on. I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't like being behind the camera. So I actually have no camera Zoom calls. Guess what? You're allowed to do that. If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, freelancer, whatever it is, you're allowed to do that. It's okay. My next tip actually comes from Cal Newport, and there's been lots of talk about this in the last couple of years, is doing a digital detox. Having a detox challenge, and this one seems to present the hardest thing for folks. And I'm going to link to Cal Newport's video where he's talked about a dopamine detox, how overstimulation is ruining your life. I'll put that at the top for us. Check out that link. So that's my tip. Turn off all your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, all electronics for 24 hours. Do that once a month. You will be amazed at how freeing it is. I actually have no people days. I'm an introvert. I'm an INFJ introvert. And sometimes I got to be alone. Sometimes the only person I want to interact with that day is my wife. And guess what? That's okay. Just reset expectations. You're in control. You're doing what is necessary for you. So what is your number one takeaway for today? Drop that for me in the comments. That is going to be important for me to know what your number one takeaway is for this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how important time control is. And no, this is not going to be yet another time management boring video. It's going to go way beyond that. I'll see you in the next one.